Hi there. Welcome back. It's actually the same day as my happy mail, but I'm going to save this for the following day. So I guess happy Friday? Happy Friday. So if you saw my happy mail from Anna, or Anna, whichever pronunciation you prefer, Anna, I've got these in my happy mail, and I want to put them into my own journal because they're beautiful, and they are from, or for, I don't think they were ever used, 4 boxes of matches, and I just love them. I love the green. I love green. And I love the horse on them, and I want to make, I'm working on making the edge look raggedy for my journal. And I've already done a paper ruffle here. It's really a no-brainer. Just simply plan on it being twice as long as it will be when you're done. And I mean, I just did it. But if you're already doing crafty things, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just do a whole bunch of little folds. And before you know it, you'll have a little flat ruffle. And then what I do is I get my glue stick. I glue down for as long as my ruffle is going to be, and I glue it down and hold it in place. And then I like to run a sewing thread through it, just for extra fun. You don't have to. It would hold on its own, but it just looks cool. And then I always like something else to be on the other side. So in this case, I'm still making use of, I had lots of that offcut of paper with the holes in it, from here, and I put it in other places. You'll see it throughout the book. So that's what I did there with that ruffle. Now I'm also going to make a fabric ruffle. Now, when I first started making junk journals, the sewing mama in me, who has made many a dress, a twirly dress, when I would make a ruffle, I would make a traditional ruffle. So, for example, here is a ruffle where you literally stitch down in a very wide running stitch, and then you pull one of the threads, either the upper or the lower thread, very carefully, and just start creating your ruffle. And then for me, in order to hold the ruffle in place, in the case of junk journals, I stitch over it again with a zigzag, and then your ruffle stays put. It won't unravel. And even if I cut it, it won't unravel. So, but you can see how, unless I take an iron and really push down on it, that's bulky. So unless you've got lots of room, that's going to bulk up a journal. Here's another one that I have taken my iron to. I purposefully made it a little askew for fun. I rather like it, and I did take an iron to it and flatten it out. So you can see the difference here, I hope, in bulk. When it's been ironed, it still looks ruffly, but it won't take up nearly as much bulk when it's had the iron pressed down on it. Again, needs to be done before you sew your text block together. I can't imagine ironing when the text block has been sewn together. So I really like this one, but I want to do a pinchy one the way Nancy taught. I just love the pinchy ruffle that I learned from Nancy when I did her work along with me and make a traveler's notebook. And so I'm looking through. Here's sort of a bag of little, oh, come on, red and paisley. Oh, I do love that too. And I love this one, but you know me in red and paisley and gold. Oh boy. No, this one's more ready to go. See, this one is already made. This is an actual trim. Nancy sent this to me, and I used most of this when I made a really pretty solstice journal, winter solstice journal, and did this trim along it. So I had to have the room for it because you can see how bulky that would be in a journal, but it just looked so elegant. It reminds me of, the Shakespearean, the ruffle color that they wore. So this one's a little bit better, but again, still bulky, but so pretty with that satin. Anyhow, I think I am going to, for the sake of time, going to do one with one of these, and then yes, I will still use my bird fabric, my leftover bird fabric, and put another ruffle in somewhere else in the book, off screen later on. And I'm also, my brain has really been struggling with creating those awesome covered paper clips that are just the rage right now, and I'm having a stupor of thought as to her name, who came up with it. Sparkbird, I believe it is. They're so cute, but do you think I can get it? I've been it's, my brain can't get around it. So but I thought that I would share, if there's anyone else out there who struggles with their mathematics, with doing the mathing the way I do, you really can make a similar thing just without even a paper clip. It'll still work. I've been doing these for a while now. It's just on cardstock, and you just, in this case, I've glued this corner because I want it askew, and it's 2 pieces. It's actually paper that was from a sample box from your creative studio, and I glued them to some scrappy file folder paper, and then I cut them, roughed up the edge, inked them, and they can just slide on to the side of a page. In this case, I like this one because that way it sticks out here, and it also sticks out the top. So when my signature is closed, comme ça, it's sticking out there, and it's also sticking out up there. But you can also, glue it straight across the top, and then you would just you know, put it down across the top. And it will hold your tuck things without the paper clip. And it will, as long as you make the other side pretty too, it will hold on both sides. So, please, I mean, no disrespect. What she did was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I can see how it would probably hold things, I guess, tighter because it's a paper clip. On the other hand, if you struggle with things like that, as I do, there are some things I struggle with. Mathing, I struggle with, always have. The only thing I know is that is 10 centimeters, and don't ask me why I know that. That is 10 centimeters. So I'm going to keep my paper clips for paper clipping, rusting them and using them like this. And I think for me, I will keep making my tabs simply by making them with cardstock and gluing them on whatever place I want to glue them. And I just thought I'd show you this way too, for those of you who struggle with mathing or time, or you're struggling with you want to save your precious paper clips. So get out your either regular ruler. In the case of this one, I just cut it with scissors, and then I used the corner of my scissors and just went along it like that and roughed it up. But if you want, this is just file folder, and it's just paper, so you should be able to. Now it's going to make a liar out of me. Oh, there we go. I got a good grip. You should be able to tear using your handy dandy tear edge ruler that maybe you made the other day. Maybe you made yourself one. And just go along. Sometimes it's my arthritic hands that can't get it started. And then I'm good to go once I have it started. But sometimes it is too thick. But in this case, it's called arthritic hands. So this is I said I wanted to use my piles. Add to heal yourself of painful piles. Look them up. I'm not going to get into it. I blurt too much as it is. There we go. I could hear my mother's voice in my ear saying, Catherine, sometimes it's okay to just stop talking. Oh no! And then run it off the edge. So you lay those rough edges down, and then we will be inking them. So here's where I want, they don't necessarily have to be the same size because one's going to go on the other side, but I do want them the same width because a corner is going to stick out. So in this case, I do believe I can safely just go down along. I'm going to use my tweezers and get it going. Oh, this side's going to be hard. This side. That's really going to be tricky. But we can do it. I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to use my finger here and really put pressure on it so it doesn't try and slide out from under my ruler. Good. And there's my big chunk, so I don't want that one. But I don't mind these ones. This is from an old 1950s newspaper that used to be printed. I know it was in many areas of Canada, and they'd have pages that were local. So, because I've seen some from down east, and this one was from the Niagara area. I got it. So, don't want it too bulky. I do think I'll keep it close to being the same size. All right. So, let's ink. I need some paper. Because we can't not ink. I'm using coffee. I think I'll use a sponge. These are definitely sponge worthy. And they don't have to be rough edged. I'm just doing rough edge for this one. I'm going to do the same thing with the horse heads. And I will not be rough edging those. I will cut them smooth, and I will probably do them straight down from the top. But I'll do them in this manner. I'll do them on cardstock. And they will hold papers. Don't expect them to hold like 5 papers, but usually when you have a little tuck spot, you're just tucking one thing there. You're tucking a little note, right? A little postcard, a little carte de visite or something. You know, a little calling card. That's what I'm thinking of. So those are a nice edge. I recommend that you ink the other side in case it's showing through. When you glue it down and it shows through, just in case. Because obviously they're not perfectly symmetrical. So there we go. And that's going to look nice. So I have a robin that is simply all on its own, sticking out on the first, oh, we're going to do this one later, sticking out on the first signature, and it is a tuck spot. So it'll hold things. I mean, it's quite comfortably holding, that little card is quite comfortably holding this big piece of file folder. So I've already got one in number 1. I've got this one for number 2. The nice thing is you can put it wherever you want. You can move it up and down your page. This one I want up higher because I do want it sticking out the top and the side. So I think I'm going to want this one somewhere in the middle for the 3rd signature. And I don't have to pick any page in particular, but I usually put them on a page that's sticking out far enough that they're going to show. I wonder if I'll just put it on this first page. Then the piles will be noticeable. So here's how I do it. If I wanted it to go on evenly to look like a tab, then what I do is let me take my page off, is I simply imagine how big I want my tab to stick out. I would turn it over and I would get my pencil and I would draw a line there, and that way I know how much glue to put there, and then I can take it away and glue down my other side. And then just wait till it's dry and you've got yourself a tab that can go on your page. You can move it anywhere else. It'll hold your notes, and it's just two little pieces of something interesting to look at. In this case, you know, we want it, I want it like this. So I'm going to turn it over. Let's see if I can come down closer. There we go. And you can do a pencil line because it's going to be glued inside and no one's going to see your pencil line. I use my art glitter glue because it's for paper and paper together. Art glitter glue, I believe, is your best paper to paper glue. And then I want this one upright as well, so I'm just going to glue them together. And there you go. Let it dry. And then when you need your piles eased in minutes, the information will be handy and ready for you at a moment's reach within your journal. How handy is that? Done. Let's do something I also always forget to do. So now I forget what angle we did it on. I think we did it on that angle. And yes, we did. So this can be moved about, but for now I want it there. This side is, oh, hold on, we want it that way because shipment collect needs to be upright. So there we go. It's on an angle, so it's going to stick out sideways. I will do a few. I can move them around later if I don't like where I've put them. That's the beauty of it. You can glue them down, but it's just fun. You can flip it over if you'd rather, you don't want the piles noticeable. You can have, this is selling, these are for Christmas ideas, for little toys for Christmas. Ukuleles, clarinets, teddy bears, 4 for $1. Oh my goodness, this was from the 1950s. Oh yeah, the newspaper. I got off track. The Family Herald. So fabulous. If you can find one of those little newspapers, they're terrific to cut up. Oh, I love this piles. So let's put the other folios back in to our piles. Let's stack them together so you can see what we've done. Oh, let me show you how it'll hold. Tuck your thing in and it holds your paper. Or on the other side, holds your paper. So, like I said, again, boy, props to that brilliant woman who came up with that really cute idea with the actual paper clips in it. And I know for sure they would be stronger and hold better. But my brain couldn't handle it. My brain couldn't take it, and I gave up. So now my book is already starting to look like there's stuff falling out of that book. Isn't that cool? Oh, let's come backwards. So it's already going to start looking, it won't be in that deep when it's finally, because I'm going to be sewing a hidden hollow back spine, it'll be up a bit, so it won't be that deep. It'll be more like that. And these will be out a bit more. And it'll be all through there. And I'll be able to move them about. I can stick it on the top if I wanted to. Say I want my piles on top. Too many piles on the side. I can put my piles up here and stick them out the top. And like I said, if I want them even Steven, if you're a neat, tidy person and something askew like that is going to make your head explode, and I totally get that. I get it. Make it neat and tidy. Do your glue straight across the top. Do a nice thick band, I would suggest, if you want it nice and strong. I would suggest probably about a ½ inch, or a little more than in between 1/4 and ½ inch. And you'll be good to go. So there we go. Now let's put a ruffle. Let's do a quick ruffle. A Nancy ruffle. Let's find a page to do a Nancy ruffle. I like these numbers, so I'm not going to do a ruffle on the numbers. I want it on a page that is comes out wide, because pretty typical of me, my pages are all different sizes. I think I'll put it on here. I usually like to put the really pretty things that I love on the presentation side of the page, because our pages, you know, commonly, I shouldn't say normally, not necessarily normal, but commonly our books open from right to left. So I'm going to just make a little one with this little pink and green. I like that. And instead of using this red, I'll save and use this leftover red that matches the text block red. So this is wrinkly. Don't let that worry you. Now, if I'm botching this, Nancy, please, you know what? Go ahead and scream at your screen. But hopefully I'm doing you justice, girl. I just put down some glue. This glue dries clear anyways, so I want this down a little lower, and I want it to stick out a little bit. So I'm going to start it and then pinch it and push it down. Oh, Daddy must be home. Yes, we're one of those weird dog owners that Mommy and Daddy to our dogs. You dog owners, cat owners out there, and bird owners, do you do that? Oh, I better go see. Hold on, give me a second. All right, the father and child reunion went by very happily. So yeah, so you just pinch. Because it's glue stick, you have lots of time to make sure you're happy with how your ruffle is. And then, yeah, I did too much glue. That's okay, because it's going to dry clear, and it's not tacky when it dries, and you won't even know it's there. So, and then I'm going to sew through it. I'm going to sew through it from this side, because then I won't have the pokey, you know, the displaced paper where you get sort of like the sewing zits that show through. There's always one side that has the sewing zits on paper. But if you sew on the side opposite to your fabric will camouflage that. So I can tell where my fabric begins and ends here. So I'm going to quickly go over and sew this, and I'm going to show you. Is this dried yet? I don't want it to glue itself to the bed of my machine. Come on, get tacky. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. And there you go. You've got just a pinched ruffle. It's not so bulky. It doesn't need to be ironed because it's already flat, but it's still ruffly. I'm going to end, because I sewed from this side, I don't have to run my bone folder down this paper to flatten it back down again. I'm going to pull the threads through to this side just to give something to look at. I leave my threads long and just knot them. So I'm going to pull these through and tie them off. There we go. I do 3. I'm just a weirdo like that. I asked my son, because he's the one that got his scouting badge for knots, and I said, do I right over left and under, left over right and under? I said, will that hold for sure, or should I do another one for good measure? And he said, do another one for good measure. So that's why, you know what, the 3rd knot is for Josh. He was a 5-star scout, which in Canada is a big deal. There we go, and a little bit of ruffle sticking out there. Looks cute. So number 4 has a ruffle sticking out, but I still might make a little tab for it. I don't know. I might save some things to do, just to have some fun. But I will be making the horses. The horses will need to be glued down and then cut out. And then what I'll do, like I said, is I'll put my art glitter glue, probably about a 1/2 inch of it at the top, because the horse head I want sticking out. These are going to go across the top of the text block somewhere across the top, because I just love these, and I love that there's 2 matching ones, and I saved those for me. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my little version of my way of doing a little paper tag that doesn't need a paper clip, and but will still hold paper, and do whichever one floats your boat. This one, it's just easier for me and my brain, although I want my piles on the side. There. Got to remember the angle that I put my triangle of glue on. My piles are hanging upside down a bit. That's fine. So that's good. So I actually accomplished something in today's video. Whoa! If I knew how to insert a sound of applause right now, I'd insert that here. Imagine you're hearing, yay! I do it, but I don't know how. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. If you're still here, hit the like button for me. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you'll think about subscribing. And take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Certainly over the weekend. Bye. Oh, Nancy, I hope I did my ruffle okay. You'll let me know. I know you will. Bye.